What's up everyone? Today's video is going to be completely unscripted. Like, I actually wasn't planning on even making this video until I was eating breakfast this morning. I was scrolling through Facebook like I know I'm not supposed to early in the morning. And I just got some random inspiration that I wanted to make a quick video on while I have the day to work on these videos. So especially over this past summer, I've seen a lot of musicians on Facebook and other social media platforms, but especially Facebook, just RIP the music industry, basically. Like, you know, the touring industry is done, live music is done, it's our musician apocalypse. Which, you know, I have mixed feelings on that because yes, this has been objectively a really difficult time for musicians, venue owners, and everyone in that field. We've lost a lot of our income, we've lost a lot of our outlets, and it's been rough. It's been rough. A lot of people, including myself, have been left like, what do we do now? The thing is though, I'm not convinced that the right response is to start burying the music industry prematurely. I don't think what we're putting in the grave is the music industry as a whole. I think what we're putting in the grave is the previous incarnation of the music industry. Throughout history, just due to inventions and random circumstances in society, the music industry has changed. I mean, the music industry isn't today what it was in the 20s, you know, when we had the Tin Pan Alley, when they were just pumping out songs and they were just making a living doing that. That's not a thing anymore. And that's because society has changed, you know? And for better or worse, the music industry has changed multiple times. Same with Napster, and when that happened in like I think it was the 90s, 2000s, that changed the whole music industry. It felt like a musician apocalypse, I'm sure. I was like at the oldest, maybe 3 when that was happening. But you know what? The music industry got back up on its feet and it reincarnated itself. We are now living through another death of a faction in the music industry. It's easy for musicians to feel hopeless during this time because we don't know what's coming next. We don't have the hindsight to see what is the next chapter. But we can take guesses and we can look inside ourselves to see what we can do to keep going through this. That's the whole reason that I've actually been making these videos, is because I think this is a factor of the next incarnation of my music career. And you know what? I obviously would never wish for COVID, but this would never have happened without COVID. Without COVID, I would never have taken the opportunity to sit down and make these videos regularly. Because for the last 4 years, I was doing a mind-numbing amount of gigs. And I also want to remind my fellow musicians what it can be like sometimes. Yeah, I do miss the shows where you're up with the band on a nice stage with nice lights and you've got a crowd that's into it and they're cheering and it's like, this is what I was meant to do. But you know what? That was like 10% of the time. I want to remind you, for some of us, the rest of that 90% was playing in dinky little bars where the owners underpaid you. There's like 6 people, maybe 3 of them are listening, and the other 3 of them are requesting Freebird and Piano Man endlessly. And then you've got a set of woo girls in the back going, woo! At everything that you do. It's just like, did you forget about this part? Because I know that a lot of the same people that are now like RIP to the music industry we're also going through that and also complaining about that, myself included. So while it's easy to feel hopeless during this time, I also have a huge sense of excitement because this is the first time we can break out of that mold successfully. Because the problem was before, there was really a low chance of success when we form our own path and get creative with what we wanted to do as musicians. You either basically played the game and maybe worked your way up that ladder, or you took your own path, you worked a side job and all that stuff, and maybe you would be able to make it somewhere. We don't even know where. Well, now all bets are off. For now, that door is closed, and the only thing we can do is either twiddle our thumbs and wait for it to come back, or we can do this exciting thing, which is reincarnate the music industry to be what we wanted it to be the whole time. And that's my goal. I've spent the entire last couple months thinking about what parts of my music career before COVID I loved and want to keep, and what parts of it I don't want to keep. And honestly, the parts that I want to keep are things like playing really nice shows with musicians that I love to play with, writing with people that I love to write with, creating music in the studio, and occasionally traveling around and meeting new people. What are some of the parts I don't want to keep? I don't want to play at dinky little bars in Buffalo, New York for the rest of my life. I love Buffalo, New York, but y'all got some dinky bars. I'm sorry. For me, that just is not going to cut it any longer. I've been playing these kinds of shows for almost a decade now, and I am up to here with it. I just am. And now this is a rare opportunity where I don't need to do that anymore. Not only that I don't need to do it, I can't do it pretty much. I've played 1 public show this entire summer. The rest of them have been private parties, which is also something I'm like on the fence about. But usually private parties are much better. But that's a whole nother can of worms. I'm ranting. I think I'm ranting, but no one's here to stop me, so I'm just gonna keep ranting. What was my point of this? Oh yeah, we can now make the music industry what we wanted it to be. So please don't mourn the death of the music industry. I know it's so easy to feel hopeless, but this is actually a time of immense hope. Even though now we have what feels like a low ceiling and we've lost a lot, I'm sure that that will eventually come back at some point. That can't fully go away, in my opinion. But what we can do now is we can now start to mold the industry to be more friendly to us. And we can truly find these paths that we want to go down. And we just don't feel like we have to go down because that's the only way. Because now is the time where musicians and creatives in general can forge their own paths. We have the time, we have the energy, we have the attention of the entire internet right now. Think about this. Everyone is online. That's the reason I'm doing these. That's the reason I'm going to be doing digital concerts. Because right now, pretty much everyone's attention is on their screens. For better or for worse, but guess what? That's the way it is. And so now is the time to take advantage of that, people. I've said it before, I'll say it one more time. Instead of mourning the death of the industry as a whole and feeling hopelessness as creatives, what we should do is put to bed the way that we used to do things that we can't do anymore and start forging a new path, an exciting path that is what we always wanted the previous industry to be for us. This is a time of immense hope and endless possibilities, people. And I'm not just bullshitting you. Even if it doesn't feel like it, this is the time for innovation. So I hope that gave you some clarity. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you want to see more videos like this, please like this video and subscribe to the channel where we post videos like this regularly. And a little random tip for all you musicians out there. This is something that I've been doing that's helped me stay out of a job even through COVID, is I have a Patreon. Now, if you don't know what Patreon is, it's an awesome platform where musicians, artists, video makers, basically anyone doing anything can post exclusive content from songs, images, videos, even exclusive merch mailed right to your door. You can have as many tiers as you want and set them to whatever price you want. My lowest tier is $2 a month, and you can cancel anytime. If you want to help support me and help me keep making these videos during this strange time, I'd really appreciate any support. And all my fellow musicians out there watching this, please, I implore you, make a Patreon, because that is probably one of the wisest moves we can make right now. Either way, my name is Jonah Kroll. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.